What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in to another episode of The Loud Bostonian. Today, I'll be doing my review of Season 1 of the new Netflix series, Locke and Key. Locke and Key is an adapted from a graphic novel of the same name, and it's pretty much, the first season is pretty much exactly what the first book is in the series. This series is really cool. It's pretty much, Netflix is on a roll when it comes to like fantasy series, specifically when it comes to kids. I feel like they do a really good job of telling stories of families and kids in fantasy type supernaturally pointed worlds, which is really cool. And Lock and Key fits right in there. It's just like Stranger Things. Maybe not as good as Stranger Things season 1 or 2 or definitely not Stranger Things season 3, but it was really exciting. I was watching it. I was on the edge of my seat. I wanted to know the mystery. I wanted to learn about the keys, all of it. And I think that the actors did a great job. And it was truthfully one of the better shows I've seen in a long time. And my wife and I both binged it together, and we don't often have a lot of shows that cross like that. So it was really good to have this one and have her be engaged and want to watch the next one. So much so that when I was doing some broadcasts, she was like, I'm upstairs watching the next episode. And she wasn't. She was lying to me, but I was so mad when I thought she was. So I really enjoyed this first season thoroughly. I thought it was really cool. Let's just go through a little backstory of what this actual story is. So Lock and Key season 1 focuses on a family, the Locks, who move from their home in Seattle. I think it's Seattle. Might have been San Francisco. Seattle to Massachusetts, where they move into their father's childhood home. There's a tragic backstory there where the father was killed by a student who went to high school with the son, and the whole family needed a fresh start and decided to move to this house. And there's a whole mystery around it because the kid who kills the father, before he does so, he's asking about Key House, which is the name of the manor home that, he grew up in and that the family moves to. So right at the bat, there's some intrigue about how this student knew about his ancestral home, and he wanted to know about the house, about the keys, as he says it, before he murders the father. And the family moves his house unaware of all these events. And then slowly the children of the family, there's three family members. There's the son who's in high school, the daughter who's in high school, and then a younger son who I think is probably in like middle school or just maybe 5th grade. But he's actually played by the same kid who played Georgie in It Chapter 2. So he's pretty much the only recognizable actor that I knew from this, that I could see from this series that I've seen in something else. The older son looked familiar to me, but I couldn't place where he was, what I saw him in last. And my wife told me that the mom in the family was in Scandal or something like that. So I don't watch that show, so I've never seen her before in my life. There's a lot of unknowns in this show, but they all did a really good job. They all sold me that they actually, were pretty broken and dealing with the stresses of this, and they all sold the sense of wonderment as they discovered these keys. Now let me get into the details about the keys. So basically this house is full of magical keys. I know it sounds pretty ridiculous just saying it like that, but they start finding these keys one by one. The youngest son finds them first, and because they whisper, they start making these little sound effects, creepy little whispers, and he follows them until he finds the keys. And each of these keys does a different thing, and they all have crazy powers and crazy abilities. Some are a little ridiculous. Some of them are very specific. And this is going to be a spoiler review, guys, so I apologize. It's kind of a recap spoiler review, but the tree key, I don't even know what else you'd call it. The key that they found that unlocks the tree in the graveyard where their father's brother or their uncle's memories just pop up. What a fucking weirdly specific key. Literally, it just, if you didn't have it and you weren't in here, it wouldn't do anything and you'd never know. And all it does is unlock his memories that they took from him. That's so strange. And maybe they go into details about it in the second season. I never read this graphic novel, so I have none of the backstory really, other than what I looked up on Wikipedia, which seems like the first season followed it pretty well. But yeah, so it literally just opens his memories, and that was like, that is so weirdly specific to this one episode. It's ridiculous. Like, what's the point of that key? Who may have made that key? Granted, you don't have any clue who made the keys. It doesn't go into that details at all in the first season, so we still have no clue about that. But it was really a good season. All the keys were cool. They all did their own super specific things. The Anywhere key was really sweet. I kind of wish I owned that in real life because it'd be pretty convenient for traveling and commuting and such. So that'd be pretty sweet. But basically they find these keys, and first it's just a fun adventure with these keys, figuring out what they do. But then within the first or second episode, you find out a little more about some stuff going on in the house. There is a entity which is after the keys, who has been trapped in the well of the family home, and she tricks the son into helping her escape. So right off the bat, I'm like, well, that's pretty stupid to do that in the second episode, but it makes sense as the show progresses, because she can only take a certain number of keys at a time, or she can only take keys if they're given to her. So it's really not, she's not as, you'd think she'd be able to get the keys and just like run through the house grabbing all of them. She can't. She can only take them from a lock if they give them to her. So she tricks the youngest son, Bodhi, into giving her the key, the anywhere key. So right at the bat, I'm like, well, that's the stupidest thing ever, man. That's the best thing I've ever seen. Definitely don't just hand that to a stranger in a well, but whatever. But anyways, the show keeps going from there, and each of the keys do a different thing. And this evil well character, whose name, it might be Dodge, I guess, she keeps popping up, trying to get the keys as they find them, and basically they have to thwart her and stop her from getting all the keys, and ultimately doing what her goal is, which is to unlock a specific door called the Omega Door, which they find on the property, and just open it up, and from the other side of that door bring her people over, which I'm assuming they're demons, but again, it hasn't really gone into the details about it. So it's pretty cool, and it's not really scary. So if anyone out there is thinking this show might be too scary for me, because honestly, when the well lady starts talking, it seems like it's going to be pretty scary. It's not that scary. Honestly, I think any of the Stranger Things seasons are probably scarier than this show, but it's just a good show. It's funny, it's fun, and you really like the family members. They really deliver, except the mom's a little annoying. I know that she's like super depressed. Her husband died, and she's a bit of an alcoholic, or recovering alcoholic. So her storyline's a little weird. And honestly, they write her kind of weird because adults can't remember magic. So it's annoying that she sees magic happening, and then in 2 seconds, it's like, you guys want some dinner? And it's like, but that's the way it's written. So, I mean, it works in the show, but her character annoyed me a little bit in those instances. So, but it's a great show, and the family is awesome. And like I said, it's fun, it's funny, and honestly, it's a really good, easy binge, and I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I can't wait for season 2. My wife can't wait for season 2. It's absolutely one of our new favorite shows, and it's going to be, with Netflix cranking out all this quality TV shows and movies left and right. Well, maybe not movies, but quality TV shows. They really are separating themselves from the competition. They may have taken a hit when Disney Plus went live, but they definitely have better content than Disney Plus right now, and their shows are engaging and they're fun. And I can't wait to see what they do next. I can't wait for Stranger Things season 4. I can't wait for Witcher season 2, and I can't wait for Locke and Key season 2. Anyways, guys, if you've seen Locke and Key, I want to know what you think of it. What was your favorite moment? What was your favorite key? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Catch you later.